Hello folks, Kevin here again. So I'm back out on the trail once more. Today's trail is called the Hakkenpään Laavu Trail. It is approximately 5.5 kilometers long, and the plan today is to hike in approximately halfway. I'm planning to camp with a tarp tonight. Let's see how we get on. It's kind of windy today, and hike out then tomorrow morning. Spring has finally arrived to Finland, and although there aren't any leaves on the trees yet, the temperatures are relatively warm during the day. It's approximately 4 or maybe even 5 degrees plus right now, although it's forecast to drop below 0 tonight, or hover around 0 at least. I can't complain. The sun is shining, and the birds are quite active already, so that there's quite a lot of bird song to be heard. And yeah, of course, just as I say that, you can't hear anything. But so far this trail seems to be a mix of wood trails and these are clay or sand roads. But let's see how we get on once we get a bit farther into the trail and away from the village. Currently the path just took me through a small stand of forest along this, well, it looks like a road, but it's actually granite bedrock, and it seems to ascend up to the top of a hill, and it's completely bare. Okay, so now I have my super fantastic Amazon poncho on. It's I don't know if you can see that. It's has a sort of a reflective inner bit which should help keep me warm a little bit, and well, if nothing else, it'll block out the wind. I mean, I realise it looks a bit like I'm wearing a plastic bag, which is effectively what it is, but yeah, I find that my regular layers on top aren't quite keeping me warm enough in the wind, so hopefully this will mitigate against it somewhat. The landscape here is quite wonderful. It's granite bedrock coming right to the surface with some very large erratic boulders, mostly pine trees, and then on the ground there's moss, and that really light green is reindeer moss, which is actually a lichen. Along the trail I've seen these white markers, and they have questions, so it's some sort of nature quiz. This one is for children, it's for Lopset, and it asks, do you need a fishing license to fish with a pole and line? And the answer of course is no. And then there's questions for adults, and it says what animal is, and it's a Latin name, vulpes vulpes. I think it's the common fox. So this is, as you see, in number 5. This is about the 4th or 5th one I've seen along this route, so it must be some sort of quiz organised for visitors. Judging by the logs, I would say this hasn't been built too long ago. It's called Hakkenpään Laavu. Laavu is presumably the owner of the land, or else the person who made it. And this really nice fire pit, and yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. This one actually has mats inside, which is makes it look very cozy and comfortable. And there's even a wooden sculpture. There's even foam sit pads for people to sit on. So this is probably a visitor's book. Yeah, I'll have to sign that before I go. As you sit in the Laavu, you have a nice view of the sea. How nice is that? So this is my setup for the night. I have a plough point configuration for my tarp. It's a 3 meter by 3 meter DD hammocks, super light tarp. Got some nice little LED powered lights from Kilo's Gear as a bonus for buying a mat, which is the next piece of kit I got recently. It's basically a dimple sleeping pad. It's supposed to have an R value of 5.0, so it should be good enough for the current conditions. I didn't actually bring a closed-cell foam mattress to put underneath this. I might regret that decision, but we shall see how we get on tonight. Then I'll have my Thermarest Polar Ranger sleeping bag. Probably overkill, but I'm not taking any chances. And to keep myself dry and hopefully also at a few degrees, I have my Tyvek homemade BB bag. I'm sleeping on top of a tarp as well, It's one of these ones with the foil on the inside and sort of orange colour on the outside, and it's tough enough to actually have this as an undersheet. I thought I'd light a little fire while I have some food, so yeah, I might regret it. The wind's coming pretty much straight at the wind shelter, so I'm probably going to be in smoke for the entire time, but maybe some warmth would be actually nice. I got these as a Christmas present from my mother-in-law. So basically they are cotton pads that have been soaked in wax, and in Finnish it's called a sytyke-sipsi. So basically it's a lighting chip, and yeah, you basically just break them into bits, set them on fire with the cigarette lighter, and they burn for several minutes. So they actually burn relatively well. It was just 2 pieces. Yeah, so I should say to my mother-in-law, kiitos Hanna, ne sytyke-sipsit toimii aivan hyvin. So I got a new head torch from Facebook of all places. Last week it arrived. So it has this like LED strip which has supposedly a quite wide angle light on it, and an elasticated band is actually quite lightweight. I'm not quite sure actually what it weighs. I'll put that in the text just here somewhere. The brand name is Othemo, and it was advertised on Facebook, and it has some pretty cool features. So it has a little box on the side which has another light built in, and it's got the buttons on. So it's got 2 buttons. The main button is for the light function, so that's full, slightly lower, red, which is kind of what I wanted for camping, so it doesn't affect my night vision. And then there's the side light, which is like a spot, and then you press it again and it is the same thing on a slightly lower power, and then off. And I think if I press and hold, it goes to strobe. Yes. And then there's another button which basically means that rather than, once you've got your mode that you like to have, you can press the other button, and then you can actually just wave your hand in front of it and it'll go on and off. I paid something like 21 euros for it. Battery time is supposed to be 2 hours, and I presume if I keep it on the lower power settings, it shouldn't actually meet them at least 2 hours. The white LED beam gives a very even light, but it's not really for distant stuff. It's kind of like just for what's right in front of you. Wind just picked up even more, so now it feels like I'm sleeping in a plastic bag, but oh well. I'm going to watch some videos on YouTube and see if I can get some sleep, but it's definitely going to be a case of needing some earplugs tonight. Hopefully the wind won't pick up too much, and I'll have placed the tarp in the right wind direction so that I'm sheltered. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Okay, see you in the morning. Good night. Good morning, folks. Yeah, it's about 6:30, and I didn't get hardly any sleep last night. The wind was really strong, and yeah, it kept me awake pretty much all night, and calmed down for a while and then built up again as it changed direction. I remember thinking that, oh, it's gone calm finally, and then I dozed off to sleep, and then when I woke up I thought, oh, it's very light. Why is it so light? And when I opened my eyes, yeah, I was looking at the sky and the trees. There was no sign of the tarp, and luckily it didn't go very far. It's just hanging in a tree just behind me. I've got to check now to see if it's damaged or not, but thankfully it didn't rain. That's my first job on the list, is to move everything, and yeah, make sure nothing gets wet, and then coffee. lots of coffee. Right, that's all my stuff transferred. Next job now is to get some water onto the boil, and I'm going to light a small fire so I can warm up a bit. Oh, what a night. Okay, so I have a nice fire on, and I also have some breakfast on and some coffee. I'm feeling a lot better. Sun just came up, and yeah, after the horrible night I spent, life doesn't seem quite so bad anymore. It's amazing what a hot drink and some food and a fire will do for your mood. It seems that my version of plough point for the tarp wasn't adequate for the conditions that I found myself in, and yeah, the tarp took off, which is never a good thing. So I need to think about more windproof configurations, like pyramid or tarp tent, or yeah, something that's going to withstand the wind better. And for that I need to practice a bit more, rather than sort of winging it, coming out to camp and then just putting up something and hoping for the best, which is kind of what I did last night. I underestimated how strong the wind would be. Also that even though I knew from the weather forecast that the wind would turn pretty much 90 degrees during the night, it still didn't prepare me for what actually happened. So good lesson learned there. The Kilos gear mat has a supposed rating of 5.0. I am not 100% convinced. Now, I probably should have brought the Snowcelt foam to put it underneath it, and it probably would have worked a lot better than it did. But it felt quite cool under me. I could feel the coolness of the ground. Also, buyer beware, if you do get it. I am 1.78 meters tall, and the regular size mat I got was 1.83 long. It is, if you lie on your stomach, your toes are going to be over the edge, and if you lie on your back, I can just about fit on it with a pillow on, so that my heels are still on the mat. The Ultimo head torch worked really well. It managed to hold charge for as long as I was awake last night, and yeah, I think I might have it as a in-tent torch, or as a backup. Was it worth €20? Yes, based on at least last night's performance, I would say yes, definitely. Okay, so thank you to the Hakkenpään wind shelter, or Hakkenpään Laavu, and yeah, it was an interesting night to say the least. I'd come here again. I'd like to say it was really enjoyable, but well, unfortunately it was a bit uncomfortable, but never mind. You live and learn, and I learned some valuable lessons while camping here last night, and yeah, I'd definitely come again for a day trip. So 3 kilometers back to the car, let's go. So it's nice to be moving again, especially when the sun is shining and the sky is blue. It seems that, to me at least, this winter was quite long, and even though there wasn't much snow, the weather was quite grey, and yeah, kind of depressing, to be honest with you. So when you get days like this, it's like a blessing. It really is. Yeah, this bit is kind of interesting. It's a sort of a swampy area, and with duck boards going through, because the base rock is granite and doesn't let water through. Rainwater collects in hollows, and over time it becomes vegetated with mosses and other plants, and yeah, you get a whole interesting ecosystem happening in these water-filled hollows. This landscape is really gorgeous, like between granite, pavement, pine forest, mosses, lichens, and some beautiful erratic boulders as well. It is absolutely beautiful. Couldn't ask for nicer. you're still watching, thanks for sticking it out this long. Fair play to you. That you will join me again on the next trail. So until then, this is Kevin signing off from Taivassalo, Hakkenpää Trail. All the best. Moi moi.